Hey everyone, welcome back to another TLDR Studio Explainer. Okay, today we're diving into something that is genuinely a massive game changer for building software. If you're a product manager, a builder, or really just anyone doing PM-style work, you're going to want to pay super close attention to this. We're looking at a brilliant guide published on Every by Marcus Moretti. It's called A Guide to Agent-Native Product Management. Honestly, it's practical, it's highly energizing, and it lays out a workflow that completely shifts how products are actually built. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with the honest tension that pretty much every product manager feels right now. On one hand, you've got the PM expectation, right? You're supposed to be this visionary, driving strategy, showing deep empathy for your users and designing the future. But then there's the PM reality. You're constantly writing endless tickets, wrestling with semicolons and broken SQL queries, and essentially playing diplomat across like 100 different software subscriptions. Startups have raised billions, literally billions of dollars trying to help PMs keep up, but most of us still feel totally burnt out. Well, here's Marcus's core premise. Large language models have finally made all this routine, screen-based drudgery just disappear.
Which, brings up a pretty massive question. When AI makes all that routine work disappear, what do you actually do with your time? Marcus had to figure this out purely out of sheer necessity. As a one-person team building Every's writing product, Spiral, he was handling PM, coding, customer support, marketing, the whole shebang. He simply didn't have the hours in the day to do product management the old way, so he built a totally new workflow to adapt. Let's take a look at exactly how he did this, starting with a fresh take on the core PM loop. Now, the foundational software development loop itself hasn't really changed. You plan, you ship, you review, and you repeat. That part's the same. What has changed is where your effort actually goes. Marcus discovered that AI can now do the absolute heavy lifting in the plan and review stages of this loop, so you aren't bogged down in the mechanics anymore. Instead, you're leveraging specific installable agent skills to replace the absolute most time-consuming parts of your job. Let's dive right into the first crucial skill, which completely transforms the planning phase. Marcus argues that a rock-solid strategy document is the absolute foundation of all agent-native workflows. Without it, your AI has basically no idea what you're actually trying to achieve. And to be clear, this isn't about just letting an AI generate some lazy corporate fluff. This methodology is deeply grounded in management professor Richard Rummelt's famous framework, good strategy, bad strategy. It forces you to prioritize a really clear diagnosis of a problem, a guiding policy, and coherent action, rather than just making up vague goals. It really proves that AI is here to enhance rigorous PM work, not just replace it with cheap shortcuts. So what exactly goes into this foundational document? Well, he calls it strategy.md, and it needs exactly 5 sections. Number 1, the target problem you're solving. 2, your specific approach to solving it. 3, exactly who it's for, and you've got to nail this down to one specific persona. 4, 3 to 5 key metrics that actually prove value, no vanity numbers allowed. And finally, 2 to 4 core work tracks. Now, notice what's totally missing here. There's not a single specific feature, no detailed, sprawling roadmaps. This document is purely about the big picture. But honestly, here is the real magic of this whole workflow. You don't just sit down and try to write this document cold while staring at a blinking cursor. Nope. Instead, you let the agent interview you. You just run a command in your terminal, and the AI walks you through those sections one by one. And the best part, it actually pushes back. If your answer about the target problem is kind of vague, the agent drills down. It'll ask things like, wait, whose situation specifically? What did they try today, and why doesn't it work? It absolutely forces you to be sharp. And the output? That becomes the foundation that feeds every other workflow. And once that strategy document is locked in, well, brace yourself for a serious paradigm shift. Marcus says, tickets are dead, the conversation is the work. Just let that sink in for a second. He literally no longer writes tickets. At all. Let's just contrast these two worlds for a minute. The grueling old way meant spending hours writing out detailed specs, defining perfectly formatted given when then acceptance criteria so engineers knew exactly what to build. But the new way, because you have that incredibly tight strategy document grounding your AI, you just chat with it. You talk to your agent about what needs to be built. The agent physically writes the tickets, moves them around your Kanban board, and updates the statuses. You literally just converse. The conversation is the work. It's wild. All right, moving on to the second major skill, which completely revolutionizes the review stage. This is where the massive time savings really kick in. What used to be a completely exhausting 3-hour deep dive, digging through logs, writing messy SQL queries, trying to figure out what the heck happened with yesterday's launch, is now reduced to a single on-demand agent run. Let me walk you through exactly how this works. The agent pulls from basically all your vital data sources. We're talking product analytics like PostHog, application tracing tools like Datadog, payments from Stripe, and even a read-only connection straight to your database. It synthesizes all this raw data and delivers a clean, single-page output. We're talking maybe 30 to 40 lines that cover your top headlines, usage stats, system performance, and specific, actionable follow-ups. And this brilliantly illustrates how the agent acts like a really smart data analyst and a founder all rolled into one. Marcus actually has this set to run automatically every single day at 8 a.m. The agent doesn't just blindly pull data, it actually reads the report it just generated, evaluates it with common sense, annotates any weird anomalies, and proactively runs follow-up queries. Like, if response time spiked, the agent checks if it was just one user acting weird or a widespread third-party outage. And it does all of this before you've even had your first cup of coffee. So what's the big takeaway here? Let's bring it all together. What does all of this actually mean for your day-to-day? Well, product management used to mean being the connective tissue between customers, engineers, designers, and data. But as we've just seen, a ton of that routine connective tissue is now agent-driven. So what's left for you? Basically, just what Marcus calls the interesting parts. Dreaming up wild new features, thinking really deeply through complex design problems, looking at surprising data, and most importantly, talking directly to your users. Because there is absolutely no AI substitute for being surprised by what real human beings tell you. I want to leave you with this really powerful final thought from Marcus Moretti's article on Every. He says, "We all feel the economic imperative to embrace AI tools, but the better reason is to make work more fun." I love that. This isn't just about endless efficiency or, keeping up with the tech hype cycle. It's about a real workflow, from someone building a real product, stripping away the mind-numbing drudgery so you can finally get back to the joy of building. A huge thank you to Marcus and Every for publishing this incredible guide. So, what are you going to build with all your new free time? Thanks so much for joining this TLDR Studio Explainer, and keep building.